What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you, everybody that's been subscribing, dropping them likes, and dropping them comments. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Just a little quick update before I do the other half of Charles' video. Uh, a little bit of clarification on the correction officer. There's also going to be an inmate. You know, he's going to be verifying a lot of the stuff. Uh, Basically co-signing what this correctional officer says about the Alabama department. It's not just going to be about the assaults, but it's as a whole. The corruption. The lack of recruitment. Uh, where are these recruits being hired from? Are they being how can I say not scrutinized, but background? Are they just because they don't have a background doesn't mean that they have some kind of a they don't have some kind of association with an organization. It could be a cousin, a brother, and it's basically gonna expose the whole Alabama Department of Corrections. It's not just going to be on one person. You know, I'm still waiting for the other interview, but he came up with this one. So I mean, it'll be interesting. Uh, Still waiting for David Waters. Charles said he got his information. He gave him a supposedly he was gonna contact me today, Thursday or Friday. So I'm waiting on him on that. And if anybody wants to ask Hips any questions, uh I'm gonna see if he has time and do a panel with him. Y'all can ask him the questions that he wants, that y'all want to know. Because that documentary said he had two boys, and it's. I mean, I can continue asking him over and over. I've asked him numerous times, and his reply was always he used one for fixing radios, and the other one was for a lookout while he was doing tattoo working. So I can continue asking him and asking him, and if he continues to stick to his guns, I can't force him to tell me something that I don't know. The only other person that knows what Hips was doing was Mark. Hips done said what he seen Mark do. Uh, but you can see in this video, Hips is like, man, he don't care what took place 30 years ago. That doesn't define him. That's not who he is at this moment. Uh, you just have to read in between I guess, the words and sentences. I mean, once again, if Hips was indulging, I can't verify it. Only person that can verify it is somebody that was there, like Mark. Mark is the only one that can say, man, Hips, yeah, you were doing that as well. Until then, I mean, all I can do is ask the subscribers to ask Hips those questions. That's all I can do. And people are like, "Oh, I know more than what you think." I mean, like, if you knew more than what I know, then make a video, post it, and express your opinion on what you know. Because it's just common sense that if Hips didn't push that blade 20 something years ago when he got that incident, I don't see nothing changing him doing 20, 30 years. If that's the culture, if once you're known for that, you're known for that. But I can't say here Like, there's a lot of people in here in the comments saying, "Oh, you don't know Hips. You know, he was in there throwing that ass up for to get his fix." I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. Now if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, hey, Hips, I know you," and Hips says, "Yeah, I know you too," and that person says, "Hey, man, I seen you doing that for to get your fix." Well, then that would be Hips and him going back and forth. I can't force Hips to tell me something that I don't know, that I can't hold his feet to the fire. I mean, I can ask him over and over. I can ask him over and over. But you see, in that documentary, you get two stories. You get two storylines from Charles Hips, two insights, two points of view. You get the point of view with Jonathan Schwartz, uh, and Danny Trejo, the narrator, uh, and Mark. And clearly Mark says it as well. Where he says, I got Hips from a partner of mine. When Hips left, he came back owing, you know. So you got somebody portraying Hips as a boy, okay? But then when they do Charles's Hips interview, they're not portraying him as a boy. They're portraying him as a equal. As Mark had two boys, I had two boys, and when he's not around, I look out for them, and when I'm not around, he looks out for them. We are like a big old family. So I have reached out to Jonathan Schwartz, you know, because I want to clarify, like he was able to clarify Mark's role as being the sexual deviant, this rapist. I asked him the same thing. What was Charles Hips' role? Was he a boy or was he like a Mark? Was he equal to Mark? What was his role? Because I'm getting two points of view. You know, I'm getting two perspectives. From Mark. Mark is saying Hips was a boy, that he got him from his partner. But then you got Hips from self admission saying, like if they were almost equal, like if they were partners in that contraband, you know, like I had two boys, he had two boys. I mean, you can only take that as he was an equal or in cahoots with Mark. You see, and then the documentary says that Hips was a boy. He got turned out, but then again, we heard Hips said he got not turned out, but it happened to him in Homan. So, like I said, the only one that can hold Hips' feet to the fire is Mark. They were the ones that were there 20 something years ago. I reached out to Jonathan Schwartz and asked him those specific questions. You let everybody know what Mark was. I want to know what Hips was. Was he a victim or was he a predator or was he equal to Mark? What was his role? And I have not had a reply ever since. Once I asked him about what was Hips' role and that type of stuff, uh, he stopped replying. It was he lost. He you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if there's any proof that Hips was really ever a boy and they're portraying him as a boy. Cause in that documentary, they're portraying Hips as two things. One, that he's a boy. Two, that he was involved in that family with Mark as almost equals. That's why sometimes I be joking about like, the Irvin and Bird, the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird of the 80s. I don't know, because it makes it seem like you get two perspectives of what they see Hips. They've always made Mark the same type of guy in the documentary, a serial. Even after the documentary, when Jonathan Schwartz came out, he still said Mark was this. He victimized victims, trauma, lifetime healthcare medical issues. He said all this. And I don't see no professional man risking his livelihood coming on YouTube or any kind of platform slandering anybody's name if it wasn't true. Because anybody in the right mind, this guy is living in Miami with a, you know, nice house. So I'm pretty sure he's still making money out for that documentary since it's on Tubi. So I don't see why he would, publicly come on YouTube and say and call Mark all these defamation of character if they weren't really true, or he hadn't reviewed documentation that said other. Hips in that documentary was portrayed like a victim, and he was portrayed like a participant, equal, and part of the empire. When I do this interview with this correction officer, the officer's voice is going to be disguised. It's going to be the face is not going to be shown. It's going to be a panel of myself, an ex-felon from Alabama, and then an ex-felon from Texas. They're going to be bringing perspectives on that topic and an all-around topic, not just on that abuse, on the lack of security, the contraband, the recruitment, and all around, the medical conditions, everything, not just targeting on one person. It's going to be a whole overview insight from an actual inmate and an actual correction officer that they're both going to verify that all this is happening behind Alabama prison, and it's still happening to this day. Kids are going in, they're getting extorted. Kids are getting HIV because they're being assaulted. All this stuff is still being done to victims as we speak. And the Department of Alabama Corrections is doing nothing. So you're almost going to be like, somebody's going to be exposing from the inside out. So that's why this correction officer wants to stay anonymous. Because like I said, they have family currently working for the Department of Alabama Corrections and also has loved ones behind those walls. So this corrections officer doesn't want to put none of their loved ones in jeopardy. But when this corrections officer was asked about that documentary and asked about a few names, one did ring a bell. And I'm going to leave it at that. So enjoy this last part of Charles Hips video. That panel, I'm working on it, should be Saturday night, but it's not going to be live. It's just going to be a recorded panel. Y'all have a good one and enjoy the video.
Table's pretty locked up. There's 5 of us on the table. It's all same 5. We've been playing for about 6 hours. Money's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, now all of a sudden, this new guy starts winning. He just starts winning. But he's only doing it when he's dealing. So to make a real long story, real short, next time he dealt, we caught him skimming cards off the bottom of the deck. Every 5th card, every card that falls on his lap come off the bottom of the deck. So he's walked the deck on us. We know this. But what he don't know is there's a guy sitting at the poker table that he don't play that at all. Any kind of cheating whatsoever, he's not going to stand for it. Well, after we called him the second time, the guy I'm talking about, I'm not going to call his name, he just up and dived over the fucking table and he killed dude right there at the poker table. What started off, what I was getting at, what started off, 5 men on a Friday night, just killing time, playing a little poker, not bothering nobody. That's what it turned into, a killing. Because some motherfucker can't be real, wants to come over and run game and lie, and all this, and that is exactly what puts all these young guys, these young white guys, in the danger that they get themselves in. Because now you got, I mean, this guy right here, I mean, that's just a no-no. And that's what's wrong with the prison system. They're all young. They're kids. You got 80% of the Alabama prison system is under 30 years old. Out of that 80%, 72% of those inmates have life without parole. So why wouldn't they? They have absolutely nothing to lose at all. So they act like animals. And the officers let them. So, I mean, and that goes back to the security thing again. When you have no security, what can you do, man? Ain't nothing you can do. When you have no security, there's nothing you can do. And in the state of Alabama, there's no security. I seen a guy once. We were standing in line in the captain's office to pick up tennis shoe packages that come in. And that, when I say tennis shoe packages, what I mean is that's the twice a year your family gets to send you a pair of tennis shoes from home. So our tennis shoes packages come in. Well, little old guy come running by us in the hallway, run up in the captain's office at West Jefferson. Told the captain, man, I need some help. You need to put me in you need to lock me up, put me in segregation and protective custody because they're going to kill me. They're trying to rape me. And I'm telling you what God loves. The captain told this boy this right here. The captain says, well, son, you got three choices. You go out there and get you some money and pay him off. You go out there and get you a man, let him fuck you and him pay it off. Or you go get you a knife and you stab shit out of these people that's threatening you. You're going to do one of them three things because standing in my office is what you're not going to do. And run him out. And you know that boy right there had a 10 split 2. And a 10 split 2 is, what that means is you get 10 years, but they suspend 8 of it, and you only have to do 2 years inside. Man, that was in 1992, man. That boy's still in prison today. He's never got out because they tried to rape him, and he stood his ground, and he killed the 4 that tried to rape him. And he got life without parole behind that. For another man, for 4 other men trying to make this man have sex with them, he got life without parole for standing his ground. That's the kind of shit your kids are going through in prison in Alabama. You know, that's the kind of shit your kids are going through. And I hope and pray that their kids don't have to go through it. I mean, like me, I did it. I don't have any kids of my own, but I've got nephews, nieces, nephews, great nieces and nephews, and I spend my time with them, man. I don't want to see them go through what I went through. And if there is anything at all that I can do to help them, then I will. And I stay on them. I let them know, you need me, call me. You're out somewhere and you scared to call your folks, call me. I'll come get you. I'll help you. If you're drinking, don't drive. Call me. I'll come get you. You know, I don't want to see mine go through that. I don't want to see yours go through that. I really don't, man, because this is a life that this. Like I said, I'm out here right now at 55 years old after doing 27 years and a few months. I'm out here at 55 years old making a living where I should be retired. You know, I'm making a living where I should be retired. And that's the bottom line. And it's hard. But prison is not a part of my makeup anymore. I'm done with prison. And whatever I have to do to stay out here, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm surrounded I surround myself by people now that don't do shit. I'm telling you kids, if you don't get a handle on yourself, in fact, my ex-stepson, which I still call him my stepson, he don't have a father. And I love him like he's my own. 20 years old, 3 kids, he's in jail. And yeah, I get him out. I can take 420, and I'm not. And he may hate me for that, but he'll love me for it in the long run. Because if he don't get a hold of it now while he's young, he'll wake up like me, an old man coming out of prison with nothing. And I love that boy enough. I don't I don't want to see him like that. Even if I have to make him learn a hard lesson. I don't want to see him like that. And his kids deserve better than that. So, you know, I'm I'm not holier than thou. I'm not in that shit to do shit. I still get out, rip, run the streets. I got old girls that go here and there. You know, I drink a beer every now and then, smoke a joint every now and then. But the thing of it is, I work every day, all day. I do it every day, all day. I don't cut no corners no more. I do things that a responsible person does. Do things that I should have been doing 30 years ago, and I wouldn't be in the shape I'm in now. But since I'm in this shape, I focus my energy on helping other people not to get in this kind of position. Because it's so easy to fall through the cracks in life, and you'll end up somewhere where you don't want to be, man. But you got to keep a hold on that shit, man. You really do. You got to keep a hold on that shit. Because I'm going to tell you something. You'll go to prison and you'll wake up an old man and not know what to do. I don't want to see that happen to nobody. So, like I say, my number's open. It's too bad. I'm trying to see this clock. But yeah, if I can help one person, then I've done something. So maybe somebody will benefit from these videos. And as far as like the Mark Moore thing, you know, that video we done 30 years ago was just in my eyesight was just a video that was done 30 years ago. I don't care what happened back then. I could care less. It don't define who I am today. And Mark, bro, I hope you get off that shit and grasp a hope of something good in life. Because that shit ain't gonna do nothing but bring you down, Mark. And I'm telling you, from somebody that used to be all right with you, man, it makes you look bad. It makes you look bad, bro. I mean, the bottom line is, you said what you said back then. Why lie about it now? Why lie about it now? You said what you said back then, so why lie about it now? Just go and let it go, Mark. Let's get this thing going, man. You got a lot of good shit you could help people with. You really do. Like me, I'm sitting here right now in my driveway, in my Jeep, doing this video, and I'm fixing to go to work here in just a minute because I have to make a living. I can't just spend all day doing this shit right here. So it is what it is.
He's seeing what's up right now. I'm coming to see if there was a diaper out here for the day.
I seen a diaper. That's all I did. Look here in the back. But hey, that's that little red spot right here on this phone.
Yeah.
How much time does it say? What time does it say in that little red square?
35:22.
Okay, 35:22. I got 20 more minutes on this, and I'm through with this. Huh? But yeah, I'm glad he gave me the opportunity today to just talk on my own. And like I said, I'm putting it up there again. It's too late. I got into a bad relationship. I was strung out. I used drugs for about 3 years, hard. Walked the streets, and it's not because I was homeless. 90% of the people that claim to be homeless are not homeless. We can't go home and do the things that we do. That's the reason why most of the people are homeless today, because they can't go home and do the things that they do. So I've decided I'd rather go home. Fuck the things I've been doing. I'd rather go home. And you kids out there, you young adults, you need to be the same way, man. There's a lot of things happening in this world today, and the prison system's not it. The criminal system's not it. There's too much technology out there in the world today. If you're a criminal, you're going to get busted. If you're standing on the street corner selling drugs, that ain't no life. That ain't no hustle. You might make good today. You might not make a dime in the next 2 days. That ain't no hustle. Get a job. Go to work. Be somebody that your community can be proud of. Be somebody that your family's proud of. Be somebody that your kids look up to. Be a role model to these young people that's struggling out there. You know, they need us. Because, I mean, I'm just going to tell you, if we don't get a hand on this generation right here, our world's going to go to shit. Because we're coming into a generation now that's fixing to go to running our world, our government, and they're not going to, I mean, it's going to be a whole new era. I mean, we have got to stand up as one, and we have got to put a stop to some of this stuff happening to us, and some of this stuff happening to our kids and our loved ones. And the only way, and that starts at home. It don't start nowhere else. That starts at home. If your children don't have principles and morals to stand on, then they're not being taught them. And I hope, pray that I reach somebody. You know, I don't care about making money off this. I care about watching that young guy not get raped, or watching that young guy not get beat up, or watching his parents not have to spend all this money. You know, it's a sad situation that our world's in right now. Our kids are in jail, our parents are in jail, and the ones that's out here, they don't know nothing but to sit on the phone all day. People's too sorry to work. That's what's wrong with the world today. Everybody is crying out, begging people to come to work for them, and nobody will work. So, you know, I really don't know where Mark Moore is going or what he's talking about, because he ain't he's telling lies, and he's steering kids in the wrong direction. The truth is where it's at, no matter how bad it is or how bad, anybody can accept the truth. But when you lie to yourself, man. Lying, I don't care if you lie to me or not. It don't make, but if you lie to yourself, man, change the way you think. Pick yourself up out of these trenches. You're better than that. Don't let the Department of Corrections get their hold of you. Don't give them the satisfaction of making that money off you every year. Realize that your kids need you, your wife needs you, or your husband, or whatever the case may be. Prison is not where it's at. And I hope and pray that you stay out of there. And like I said, if there's anything I can do to help anybody, anything I can do to ease somebody's situation, please call. I would glad to help. But I go to court again. I've still got a case pending over me from 25 years ago. I go to court on it next week to settle it up, and then I'm done. They have no more hold over me after that, and they never will again. I found things in life that's more important to me than being locked up, and that's my family. And anybody out there listening to this, you need to look in your kids' eyes the next time you decide to do some stupid shit and ask yourself, is it worth taking a chance on me being taken out of my children's lives over some dumb shit? Is it worth it? Is it worth you having to lay in that prison bed? When you wake up, you got to turn over and see some hairy ass man. You don't get to see your kids. Is it worth it? You have to ask yourself that. Is it worth it? And let me tell you something, it's not, man. It's not worth it. There's nothing more special in the world than being able to wake up and look at your kid or your grandson or your nephew or whatever and hear that child say that they love you and reach out for you. And you know why that is? You know why that child reaches out for you? That child looks to you for protection, looks to you for knowledge, looks to you to see what he has to do, looks to you to learn, to feed him, to take care of him, to protect him or her. You really want to miss that? You really want to let a sack of dope stop you from experiencing that? Or stealing somebody's shit stop you from experiencing that? Do you really? You need to look in that mirror and ask yourself that every day. Is what I'm doing illegal worth losing my kid over? Or worth losing my wife over? Or my family or my job or whatever it is? Is it worth it? I don't know if it's worth it to you. Might be, might not be. You need to ask yourself that. And then you need to ask, and if you say it's worth it, then you need to ask yourself about your decision making process because it sucks. Got to remember something. Our best thinking got us right where we're at. Time we change that. All right. Well, I've been on here about an hour, so I'm going to log off and get this recording.